Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, ladies and gentlemen, depending on where you're joining us from in the world. I'm RJ Horner, and I'm the host of Open Up, and welcome to Open Up, our live talk show. I'm the vice president of Voice of Men 360, but let me share a brief introduction about Voice of Men 360, International Men's Day, and why this talk show Open Up is so important. Voice of Men 360 is a not-for-profit organization founded in 2020 based in Toronto, Canada. Many boys and men are seeking support in many areas of their lives, and we want to step up and supply that need and to step up for the demand and to help men overcome our challenges. Voice of Men 360 organization was born out of seeing that tremendous need and stepping up to provide help and services to support our men and boys. We're part of International Men's Day, and International Men's Day has been serving for over 21 countries so far and represented in 90 countries. Is represented in 90 countries around the world, and we've been active for 21 years so far. International Men's Day follows 6 pillars, which represent the overall well-being of men and boys, and we follow in those same footsteps. So why is Open Up so important? Because men and boys are not willing to open up our hearts and share our matters with people. And when we keep those in, they present emotional challenges or even long-term health effects that we want to help men avoid. That's why we want to create an open space and allow individuals to share their life journey through our platform. We aim to create awareness about life challenges and struggles the struggles that men and boys have to overcome in their lives. There are no limitations with gender, age, nationality, or ethnic groups. We welcome all to participate in our programming. Our goal is to make a positive impact on someone's life through this program. Open Up is on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern and Sundays at 10 a.m. We bring an individual to each show and let them share their experiences with you. We would like to remind you that Voice of Men 360 mission is always delivered with good faith towards peaceful harmony. The views and opinions expressed in today's episodes are those of our speakers and do not necessarily represent Voice of Men 360. Our organization engages in discussion forums to offer inspiration and create awareness to the issues that men face who wish to overcome their life challenges. We're not providing medical or therapeutic advice. Should you require that type of assistance, we recommend you contact a medical professional immediately. If you have questions or concerns about today's episodes or any Voice of Men 360 content, please email us at info@voiceofmen360.org. So please welcome our special guest today. Her name is Theresa Hawco Gasparini. She's a wellness mentor and an author. She's been in a wellness business for over 20 years. She is a proud grandmother and great-grandmother. She has developed and facilitated family virtues in action. She is the author of the ebook 31 Virtues. She studied NLP, neuro-linguistics programming, and psychotherapy, and she now mentors others through Toastmasters. Her vision statement is to guide and exemplify to others a balanced, integral, passionate, and progressive lifestyle. Theresa, welcome to Open Up. Thank you for joining us and being willing to share your life journey with us.
Having me, I really appreciate it because I think this is such an important matter, and I'm just privileged to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Listen, we welcome all wealths of experience, but you do have a wealth of experience helping people with their lifestyle and through their social economics or social enterprise. So please tell us what made that person, though. What created this desire in you to head down this road?
Oh boy, that is such a big question. Well, I was born and raised in Eastern Canada, and one of 7 children. And, we just barely got by. And this is not a complaint at all. It's just expressing. And so I always felt there was more. And so at the ripe old age of 18, I left the province and came to Toronto. And I went through a lot of dark times, and uh, and so
So we may have lost a signal with Teresa here. Again, she has a wealth of information, so I hope we can get her back online with us. Um, you can tell by her accent, I love it. You can tell by her accent which province she left, by the way. In case you can't, she does have a Newfoundland accent. I pronounced it as formal as I could, but we call it Newfoundland here in Canada. So, um, it's nice to have somebody with that voice or that accent joining us today. Um, I do hope we can get her back online. It always is a unfortunate side effect when you do a live show. Um, but we try to keep going. We try to put on the best show we can. So we
hello,
Teresa, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, somehow we lost you in the first place, and then we lost.
RJ.
Just hold on. So you can keep continuing. Okay, it's okay.
Okay. So yeah, I went through some really dark times, and but I kept going, and I just knew there was something better always ahead, and uh, and so because of that, I just kept going. I kept educating myself. Um, over the years after I left school, I probably spent about 100,000 on self-education, and it was the best thing that I've ever done. And then actually, my health and wellness business has probably been over 25 years now. And so, I just kept feeling that there were better times ahead, and never gave up hope. Always had faith that life would turn out just perfectly fine. And it really has.
um, wonderful. Thank you for sharing that with us. Can you tell us maybe more about your relationship, family relationship, especially that of father daughter? We like to hear about the father influence here on our show.
Right. Well, I was the first girl, the oldest girl in my family, and I really, really adored my dad. And the one thing now, of course, I know is children only know what they're born and raised around. So whatever that is, that's normal to them. But unfortunately, my dad was he was a man of in a lot of pain, and he during my growing up years, he ended up being addicted to alcoholism, and of course, what that did was brought out his anger and who knows his pain and all of this. And I must say, the reason why I'm speaking up today is my father has passed on now. I'd like to think he's in heaven. And I think that he would want me to use me as his voice, because the one thing I've known through helping many clients over the years, the people that are in pain or have anger or anything like that, um, they don't want to be that way. They just may not know how to get out of it. And so I am sure that my father was no different.
Okay, absolutely. There is that. And so how did you manage? I mean, you're telling me from hindsight, of course, but how did you manage at that time to deal with this relationship in your own way?
The interesting thing, RJ, is when I look back, I realize I always had a deep connection to who I really am. Like, I'm talking the deeper part of me. And so I had the ability to see learned behavior for what it is, but to really be able to zero through all that, and to really see the goodness in my father. And I think it was seeing the good that really kept me going and kept me hopeful, and faith, having faith that it would eventually be all fine.
Well, wonderful, wonderful that you have faith. Absolutely, it's difficult to get through struggles. Again, we all face struggles, and you have a wealth of experience dealing with people going through these struggles. I know you speak from that experience. Maybe if you could give her one or two examples of things that men do face, and yeah, please, if you could, just one or two examples of the struggles that men must go through.
Yeah, I when I think back about my own family, my mom was a stay-at-home mom. Of course, she had 7 children, and my dad was he went out to work. He was a heavy equipment operator, and so when he went away to work, and he could be gone. It seemed like for months, and so as an adult, healed woman now, I often think what a big responsibility that was to have so many kids. I mean, some people step up to the responsibility, and some people may not have the strength to step up to that responsibility. And back then, I don't think anybody talked about it.
Right. It was just something that we were expected to do, right?
Exactly.
You had this family. Now it's your business to raise this family. Go
Exactly.
do it, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So I think that's one of the biggest things. It's getting a little better today, especially with programs like yours. I mean, I think it's amazing because when you shed a light on something, then you can see it for what it is, and it encourages other people. Maybe my dad didn't have the strength to say, "Oh my God, I'm overwhelmed. I I'm frozen. I don't know what to do." And so, of course, then alcohol became a sedative, or, something to numb the pain and then act out. And so I think talking about it is the most important thing.
Absolutely. We've come a long way, and I love the title of our show, Open Up. Thank you for acknowledging that again.
Yes.
We do accomplish things by having these conversations.
Yes.
Um, you mentioned, first of all, I mean, as men, it's expected that we're going to raise our families, we're going to step up to whatever responsibility. I love the word you used, or the term you used, that some men may not have the strength to take on this responsibility. Can
Right.
you elaborate a little bit on that?
Well, I think the biggest tools we could ever learn is our inner tools, to be able to express what you feel when you feel something, instead of just suppressing and stuffing it down and then acting out somewhere else. It's almost like that whack-a-mole. You hit the head and it comes up somewhere else. And so I think if our men and boys, all people, if we're taught to helpfully express what we're feeling and to feel safe and secure in that place where we can express, I think that is one of the big keys to overcoming so much of the pain that our men and boys go through.
Absolutely. That seems to be a common theme on our show. Most of our guests seem to say the same thing, is allowing a space, allowing our men, our wives to be able to talk about these issues, to be able to talk about our men. It makes such a difference. And I think this is going to be the step that allows us to take another growth jump in our journey.
I agree. Yes, I totally agree. I think it's all about the freedom of expression. I mean, we hear about that in so many different areas today, the freedom of expression. But I think the biggest freedom to express is your personal expression, to be able to feel safe, because people do not feel, in my business of working with clients for 25 years, that was one of the bits of feedback that I got was, I feel safe with you. And so because of that, they get to express. They know that if they express who they are, whether they were gay or whatever their circumstance was, they knew that it was safe because there would be no judgment. Judgment is what keeps people from expressing.
Absolutely. One of my best friends, their family, they go through some struggles. They've been through a lot of struggles. And, I will always say that their kids feel like they can come to their parents because no matter what, regardless of their parents' feelings, they're just going to let them express themselves. It makes the biggest difference in the upbringing of our children or upbringing of anybody in being allowed to express ourselves freely.
Totally. And one of the old I hope it's not in today's vocabulary, but it probably still is, and that is, especially when it comes to boys and men, especially boys, be a man. That is like one of the most damaging statements I think I've ever heard. It's especially when it's said to a little boy. It means shut your feelings off no matter what and just suppress it all and just go out there and fight your battle.
And do what you got to do. Absolutely. Step up and do what you got to do. That's pretty much what it means to be a man, be the man.
Exactly. Yes.
The expression still exists. I think we're doing a lot to overshadow it and stamp it down because I don't think we're obeying that commandment anymore. So we've come a long way, I think. But how can we all overcome these kind of stigmatisms, though?
I think when I look back at my own life, I think the biggest thing we can do is to build our own, is to really get into a space of self-development. And it doesn't mean you got to sit on a mountaintop for a year or anything like that. It could be just reading self-development books, something about confidence, and creating those inner tools, if you want something, to create that muscle of determination, build your confidence. And if you don't find it at home, because many people don't, you have to seek outwards. And today we're on the World Wide Web. There is nothing we can't find if we want it. And
Right.
So I would say develop your inner world, because once you develop your inner world, your outer world will follow that.
Yes, absolutely. And then the other thing is you mentioned, okay, reading, and we always use that as the go-to resource, but you also mentioned we're on the World Wide Web. There are so many resources out there, audiobook, videos, YouTube, so
Yeah.
many resources out there that could help give you that information. You know what? Even just something as simple as how to talk to others, right? Just something as simple as that is a growth journey.
Absolutely. RJ, this is why I wrote my book, 31 Virtues, because I had been on such a path of growth and development myself. Then one day I realized, wow, okay, I developed kindness, living from kindness, determination, understanding, um, like all 31 virtues. I realized I had to become that in order to have the life I have. And that's why I wrote the book. I thought, if I can do this, then anybody can do this too. It's a process and a journey. It's not an overnight thing. You can pick one thing, say kindness. If you want kindness in your life, go out and be kind to others. It'll come back tenfold. It really will.
Mhm. Absolutely. Thank you. And then, so you talk about growth, you talk about personal development. So what is the importance of men's health? Conquering or taking on that that responsibility.
Of their own growth, you mean?
Yeah. Well, again, why is it so important for us men to take care of ourselves, to look into our health? Because again, we're not healthy enough. Why are we
Right.
not doing that, and why should we?
Well, um, the when you start taking care of your physical health, your mental health, your emotional and spiritual health, what in the side effect of that is you feel so darn good that you're just happy no matter what. Things will come into your life that you don't want, but you'll have better tools to deal with it. And why you'd want to do it as a male is because if you have a son, nephews, grandchildren, any male, especially a little boy in your life, you want to be in the best shape that you can be so you can pass that on to that child. That could make or break that child's life.
Absolutely, absolutely. We need to be there for our child. We need to be open for them and allow them to be open. So many things can come forward by just having a better way of operating or dealing with things or managing things. And
Absolutely. Yes.
thank you for that. So, a couple of questions before we start to head out of the show. First of all, you have a wealth of experience in, again, personal development, growth, sharing that with others. You like to say that research is available to us all. Would you share some of that research for us on why um, we need to take this step? Why do we need to grow and develop at this point? I mean, all of us, not just men.
Well, yeah, what I would say is go inside, assess your life, and ask yourself, am I happy where I am? And if your answer is not really, then you need to go out and start looking for in whichever way. The big thing I found is many, many years ago was when I decided to take care of Theresa and to be open to learning what I needed to learn. I'm telling you, miracles happen. The right people at the right time will show up, or someone will come along and say, hey, have you read that book, You Can Heal Your Life by Louise L. Hay? Or something like that. And in the beginning, you'll put it down to coincidence. You'll go, wow, isn't that interesting? I was just thinking about, looking for a book. And all these little miracles start showing up in your life. Why? Because you made a decision on the inside to open yourself up to learning and to be coachable.
Mhm. And then, like you mentioned, once we have those tools, we operate different. We think different. It's just an automatic response or reaction to the outcomes or to the challenges we face.
Absolutely. Yeah. Things when it's really about making a decision for your life, because when you do, and really, it's about life assessment. You know, asking yourself, am I happy where I am? And if not, then what?
And if the answer is yes, wonderful. Don't
Mhm.
stress. You've got it right. But
Yeah.
if it isn't, now
Mhm.
what can we do to get there, right? I think that's the step or the action to take.
Exactly. Once you create the awareness that you want to make changes, then you'll be more aware of your surroundings and the people that come into your life. And and somebody will show up, and instead of, say, a month ago, you wouldn't have noticed them. You would ask them questions. Oh, how'd you get there? Or how'd you do that? And then it starts a dialogue, which is really amazing for at that point.
Absolutely. So that's a perfect segue because let's assume that our young men and boys out there, young boys, they want to make changes. They made that decision. They want to live a better life. What advice would you give them on taking that journey?
I would, I mean, depends on where they are, but I would say, if you, look around you, if there's a male role model that you kind of admire, I would put myself around them more. If you have a teacher that you really connect with, I would have a little chat with the teacher privately, because I know when people want to make personal changes, it's pretty private. And I would ask the teacher, I need some guidance. Can you help me? It's really about within ourselves making the decision, and then putting ourselves out there and asking for help. And I know it takes a lot of courage, and I wrote about courage in my book. It takes courage, but once you and courage is not overcoming fear. It's just stepping through the fear,
Yes.
because the fear is always going to be there, but just step through it and ask someone if they can guide you.
Yes, and that's a big word for many men is ask, right? So
I
I
know.
want to, it's a big step, but it is one that, if you can make that small three-letter word happen, big things will happen in response.
Absolutely, yes.
Absolutely. So then, what can we as a society do to help our young men and boys through this journey?
Create the awareness, be kinder. Instead of judging a little boy for being an unruly brat, stop the judgment. um, Look past the behavior, and think maybe this little boy or man is in pain, and then ask yourself, what can I do to help you along your journey? It's really about being aware of yourself, and then creating the awareness in that person. Because I have done I've done different talks. One young man comes to my mind. Um, he was in my talk. He was just creating a ruckus. He was wanting to be the center of attention, and I had to make a decision. Oh my goodness, what do I do? He's interrupting everybody in the class, and so I pointed him out. And I said, you know what? You remind me of my grandson. And he looked at me because everybody else looked at him. And I said, he has the biggest heart. And I feel that in you too. And he just like stopped whatever he was doing. And after the presentation that I was doing, he walked up to me and he thanked me. He said, thank you so much. I didn't want to pounce on him. I didn't want to judge him. I don't know what his pain was. I mean, he could have really an awful home life or an awful any kind of life. And who am I to judge? So instead of judging, when we're the onlookers, I would say stop the judgment and look a little deeper. See, just say, I might, I might have something to offer this person. They seem in pain, and then take it from there.
What can I do to help them right now?
What can I do to help you?
Yes. You've been an amazing guest. Is there anything you'd like to say before you leave us in closing?
You know, I going back to my dad, I really appreciate him and everything that ever happened in my childhood, because it's brought me to where I am today. You can be inspired and motivated in a really positive, uplifting way, or you can be motivated and inspired to have a better life because of the opposite.
Yes.
And that's what I chose. And so what I say to anyone looking on today is never give up hope, always keep your faith, and always know that there's something better just around the corner. And when you become better, you can go out and help someone else have a better life as well.
Wonderful. Theresa Gasparini. These things are not easy to talk about. Not everyone's willing to share their life story and their personal journeys and experiences and struggles. So I appreciate your courage and willingness to help other men and help people overcome their life struggles and challenges. Thank you for that today.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy that I got to do this with you today. Thank you, RJ.
Oh, thank you. You've been a wonderful guest.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Great. When people like yourself come forward and share their life experiences on platforms like ours, especially on social media, it gives people hope to someone out there to change their mindset and change their life in a positive direction. That's our goal. We want to bring individuals and allow them to share their life journey, to have an open conversation about men's problems and challenges and how we can help them. I have a few announcements to share. Voice of Men 360 will be hosting our first meet and greet Saturday, August 20th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Earl Bales Park. That's 4169 Bathurst Street in North York. It's near Bathurst and Shepherd. We're looking forward to this, and we invite everybody to come out for our meet and greet August 28th, 11 to 3 p.m. at Earl Bales Park in Toronto. We have several live shows that we participate here in Voice of Men 360. The first of which you've just participated in is called Open Up. That's a live talk show we now record every Wednesday at 6 p.m. and Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time for live shows of Open Up. We also have a live talk show called Vili. That is a Tamil language live talk show that takes place Sundays at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. We also have a monthly webinar that is the first Saturday of every month from 10:30 to 11:30 Eastern Time, where we bring expertise from organizations and discuss a particular topic. We have a special show each month called The Unspoken Tears. That's the second Saturday of every month from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, where the focus is domestic violence against men. We have the South Asian Men Show. That is the third Sunday of every month from 11:30 to 12:30 Eastern Time. Voice of Men 360 and All Bengal Men's Forum will be hosting this show. Specific issues that face South Asian men. Every month, different countries from South Asia will participate. The next show is July 18th from 11:30 to 12:30 Eastern Time. The topic will be the importance of fatherhood in a child's life. So please join us and share your thoughts for that one. And we turn all of our content into podcast episodes. So please find us on your favorite podcast platforms, iPhone, Google Play, Spotify, and more. We host a monthly men's group. In fact, 2 monthly men's groups. Monthly support groups is what we host. The first one is a men's only support group. That is the third Tuesday of every month from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. The next one's on Tuesday, July 20th at 6 p.m. Please come and join us for that. Men only. Then we have an Indigenous peer-to-peer support group. We call that one Pass the Talking Stick. That is the fourth Friday of every month from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. to resume. The next one will be July 3rd, Friday, July 3rd at 6 p.m. The links are available in our Facebook page and group, so please find us for that. And again, thank you. This is our show. There are no limitations with gender, age, nationality, or ethnic groups. We invite all to participate in our show. If you want to be a guest on any of our shows, or you're willing to be a part of our organization and help us, whether directly or indirectly, please reach out to us. We'd love to work with individuals, professionals, experts, government, community organizations, NGOs, and more. If you want to reach out to us, our phone number is 437-889-8329. Once again, our phone number, 437-889-8329. Our email address is info@voiceofmen360.org, which makes our website www.voiceofmen360.org. And you can find us on all your favorite social media platforms: Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and more. And you can find more from our Facebook page and groups, facebook.com/groups/voiceofmen360. And then please like and subscribe for more from our YouTube channel. We want to reach out to more people to help and raise awareness about men's issues. Please continue your support. Thank you very much. Until next time, I'm RJ Horner, inviting you to open up.